Hey everyone, welcome to this celebration slash client Q&A video. I am with my client Gwen from the Ignite Your Business Academy, and Gwen's here to share with us the changes that have happened since joining the Academy. I think it opened on January the 17th, so it's been around 2 months. So Gwen, if you would like introduce yourself and let people know who you are and what you do.
Sure. So my name's Gwen. I'm a sex educator, a tarot reader, and a lifestyle mentor. So I basically work with sexuality and spirituality to help folks to up-level their entire lives based on their intimate selves and their inner worlds.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about what was going on in your business before you joined the Academy.
Yeah. So before I joined, I would say I was kind of feeling stuck in a lot of like, this is how to do things, but not energetically how to show up. Or maybe there was kind of an energetic afterthought, but it was a lot more focused on the one way of doing things, the specific strategies, the sending X number of emails. And it just felt a little too constricted. It didn't feel like it was really me. It didn't feel like, I was in a space where I could or wanted to embody those things. And it was tough because I felt like I was making these investments in my business, doing things that other people were telling me to do that maybe worked for them for specifically where they were, but just wasn't working for me as an individual. So I just felt kind of stuck in that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. And I think a lot of people fall into this trap of like buying from people who like their system worked for them. And we automatically assume, well, if it worked for them, it's going to work for us. And it's always like the energy underneath that's really contributing to our results. So like, how are you feeling like day to day showing up in your business? What was like the general vibe of that before we started?
Yeah, I would say day to day, I just felt like the only option was to burn myself out. So I'm a solopreneur. I don't have a team or anything. I don't have anyone to help me. So I felt like I was kind of losing myself in all of these smaller tasks and kind of avoiding the bigger or overarching work. And because I felt so overwhelmed with all of the day to day tasks and all of the, this is what you should be doing, which might work for someone who has a team of 3 or 10 people, but just wasn't working for me. I felt like I was losing kind of that energetic presence when I was showing up on social media. And I felt like I kind of fell victim to this undercurrent of desperation and of I just want to go viral, I just want to make a sale, which I see a lot on social media. And spending so much time in that space myself, I kind of merged myself with that energetic and it really didn't feel good. And I was like, is this what being an entrepreneur is? Like, it shouldn't. I got out of my 9 to 5 because I didn't want to be resentful of my job anymore and didn't want to feel like I was giving all my energy away to something that wasn't ultimately serving me. So it just felt very like, this doesn't make sense. This isn't how it should be.
Yeah, totally. And it's so hard when you're in that energy because you're doing all of like the right things. Like you're showing
Mhm.
up, you're being consistent, you're doing like the emails, everything that's supposed to work. And if you're not seeing the results that you want, it's just like what the thing that I hear from people, the question is like, well, what's wrong with me? Like what is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? And it's always those energetic shifts. So I'd love for you to share with us what's happened since, what's going on right now in your business.
Yeah. So for a while, I felt like I was, I don't know, crazy, weird, because I had this kind of world in my head of I'm already a millionaire. I'm already, have an entire team behind me that I'm supporting and they're supporting me. And like, there was just this idea that I had of like, this is reality. And I was getting kind of frustrated that like every time that it wasn't so in actual reality yet. And so by working with you and, going into the academy and everything, it feels like everything's kind of fallen into place in the sense of I'm not wrong for having that idea. I'm not weird or insane for wanting those things for myself, for wanting to have that kind of presence in the world, and make that kind of contribution. And so it feels like everything that I was missing has fallen into place in terms of how I want to show up, the energy that I want to give off, the kind of energetic service that I want to provide for my clients. I feel like all of that has really fallen into place. And as a result, like I am working less in terms of not burning myself out and getting more things done in terms of knowing, like having that baseline of more calmness instead of anxiety. And as a result, being able to take the actions that really matter, and not procrastinating on things, and really holding this vision that I have for myself, and knowing that I'm not unrealistic for wanting that, and knowing that it's not unrealistic to assume that I'm going to achieve that. So I feel like what I've learned in the academy has been so much more helpful than any other like copy and paste strategy that might work for some entrepreneur, but doesn't work for me, you know?
Yeah. And your results have been like crazy good too. So there's
Yes.
like that tangible, tangible
Yeah.
results
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I had my first 10K month and hoping for my second, and it just feels like all of the concerns that I had being an entrepreneur earlier on in my journey, I feel like have really calmed. Like I come obviously from 9 to 5. Both my parents work 9 to 5s. And so that's what I knew. Like there are no entrepreneurs in my family. And so this has been like all on my shoulders to have this mindset shift of, like, you know, things aren't going to disappear for me all of a sudden. And I'm not just like, everything's not going to fall apart one day. And so having those mindset shifts has really helped me in terms of like improving as a person, you know, and as a result, like feeling better as a person and showing up better as a business person and showing up better to serve my people. And so it's just this kind of extended gift that keeps on giving, if you will.
I love it. And what would you say like your biggest shift has been around money and sales and your relationship to those things?
I would say my biggest, oh boy, there's been so many. I would say my biggest shift is probably that it's not impossible for me to make the type of money that I want to make. And that money is not a scarce thing that I have to be afraid of or that I have to work so hard for. Like it can be easy. And kind of just making that decision, like not avoiding it anymore and just making the decision. Like I'm a Virgo, I'm a very practical minded person. And so for me, it made so much sense of like, oh yeah, I just have to decide, like it's not more complicated than that. And so by just deciding that I'm going to charge my worth and show up in that value for my clients and give them the experience that they should and need to expect from me, then like it just all falls into place instead of me feeling resentful for undercharging and then not providing as great of an experience. It's like the total opposite of that, where it just keeps on building on itself. And that feels really good to me. And it just is this entire holistic experience of authenticity and feeling good, feeling confident. And as a result, like passing that on to the people that I work with.
Do you mind going a little bit deeper into the deciding things? I know there are people listening to this right now or watching this right now, and they're like, well, what does it mean to just decide? Like, what does that look like on like a how-to or a practical basis?
Yeah. So for me, it looks like, so it is one decision, and it's also a decision that, you know, carries on every single day. And like for myself, so I am a tarot reader, and most of my tarot reading, especially in the beginning, I was working a lot with the recovery community. And so we talked a lot about those themes, of kind of the mental and emotional aspect of it, of having to decide every single day that you're going to be committed to this thing. And so that mental and emotional tenacity and resilience that I saw in those folks really spoke to me in terms of you can overcome anything. Like if you stay persistent with it, if you know, throw perfection out the window and you just hold tight to that vision, and you have folks around you to support you in that. And so that really, I think that mindset because that's so important for me with the communities that I serve. I've taken that with me in the sense of doing my own mindset work and the things that I need to work on, and that are really the difference between me holding myself back versus me really stepping into my full power and potential and serving the most people in the best way and making the greatest contribution to my world that I can. And so that sense of kind of purpose and resilience has stayed with me in terms of this mindset work as well. And so in that sense, like when I've been listening to all of the trainings and the academy and the coaching and everything, it really spoke to me in the sense of there comes to a point where you just kind of, and again, this is me speaking to myself, but for myself, I was like, at some point, I just need to choose to get over myself and like choose that it is better for me to step into this new uncharted terrain for me, into this confidence, into this space that I'm not used to inhabiting, but I know that I deserve to be in it, and to choose every single day, you know, have that like one epitome moment of like, I'm choosing this, I'm claiming it, and then continue to choose it every moment of every day, because I can't afford not to, and that I can't afford to not show up for the people who want, need, deserve me being my best, most powerful self. So I don't know if that helps any further, but it's kind of just like not being hard on yourself, but being firm in the sense of, I know I deserve this, and I can't afford to waste my power, my value, my life, because I deserve to benefit from me being in my greatest power. And the people that I am serving and will serve deserve to receive my greatest power and nothing less.
I just got chills. I just got fucking chills when you said that. That's so good. It's so true. Like sometimes people think, well, when it comes to money, it's like, well, I don't really need to like make this much money. I don't really need to embody my next level self. That's something, it'd be nice, but it's not a necessity. When we think about the people that we're here to serve, we're doing it for them. We're doing it for them and ourselves, because when we rise up, when we elevate, it pulls everyone up. Like we're all rising together and everyone benefits from it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think of all of the people that I'm inspired by, whether it's scientists, artists, musicians, psychologists, whatever. And like all of the people that we read about in history books, all of the people that we celebrate, if they were not, if they didn't take that extra step and push themselves to be that fullest expression of themselves, then we wouldn't have like Beyonce's music or Marie Curie's scientific research or whatever. And so that really inspires me in the sense of like, we are all important. We all have something unique to offer to the world. And it's our obligation really to ourselves and to our world to step into whatever that greatest version of ourselves is. And that doesn't mean that it has to be burning yourself out all the time, but it does mean that it has to be a decision of like making that decision, standing in that integrity and those values, and not shying away, you know.
That's so beautiful. I love it. I think that's a perfect note to end on. That's gold. If people want to find out more about you, where's the best place to connect with you?
I would probably say my Instagram. It's Gwen Walsh, just my name, GwenWalsh. And my website is the same, gwenwalsh.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Kelly, for having me.
Thanks. I'll see you inside the academy.
Bye.
Bye.